Hey, welcome back everybody. A couple days ago, I added new door speakers. I went with the Pioneer A-Series, 6.5 coaxial in the back and 6x9 components in the front to replace the woofer and the tweeter. I mentioned I was going to add an amplifier in a month or two. I did it yesterday. So this is the Kicker Key 200.4. This is a digital signal processor and a 200 4-channel amplifier that's going to put out 50 watts RMS, which stands for root mean square. Basically, that just means that's your average actual watts going to each speaker. So 50 watts per channel. The rears can handle 75, the fronts can handle 105 RMS and peak at like 300 or 400. This thing is under that, but still, I have the gain almost, I think it's a little less than half, and it is plenty loud. I could always turn it up. The thing I really like about this is that it is also that DSP, the digital signal processor. So you put a microphone right here on the headrest, you get out of your car, you play some pink noise on the stereo, and then it goes through a process, a couple minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, where it's sending different sounds to different speakers and tuning everything just right. So I spent about 9 hours doing this. It's super frustrating because there's no wiring diagram for this. And then the color of the speaker wires in the door is different than the color of the speaker wires coming out of the amplifier. And the reason for that, or I don't know the reason for that, but the way it happens is you got your wires coming out of here, they're specific colors. They come through, they travel up all these things, and then they go through like a clip in here. So it's not just wires going through, there's actual plugs going in here. So the wire might be white and brown, white and blue going in, coming out, it's something completely different. Once it gets in the door, it goes through a couple other things. And then it finally goes to the door speakers. So if you take your door panel off, look at the color of the wires, and then try to find it on the amplifier, they are not gonna match. Super frustrating. It took me like 3 hours just to get through all that. So I ended up taking this panel off and seeing the color of the wires going into the plug right here, and then comparing it. Then I found some diagrams of other B&O systems on the Raptor and the Bronco and the F-150, similar but not the same. So some of those power the center channel with the stock amplifier back here. This one does not. It was very frustrating, a lot of trial and error, but eventually I got it figured out, and I will show you kind of what I did. But right now I'm going to clean up all this wiring, put it in the trim, get it all put away, mount this thing right here, or probably right here actually, and then get the seat back up so I can, drive my family around again. But quality is incredible. I'm really happy that I did it. I appreciate all the comments of the people saying like, hey man, add a digital signal processor, you're gonna want an amp, you're not getting as much as you can out of those speakers. They were right. So much better now. This is the power wire for the subwoofer. This is the power wire for the new Kicker DSP amplifier, the Key 200.4. So to get it through the firewall, right there, there's a little nub you can cut off the top. You can see where the wires are going in. So right there, that is made for aftermarket wires going through the firewall. To get it through there, I actually I taped. So this is the wire that I sent through. It's just 10 gauge, it's only 200 watts, so this is all I needed. I took 3 zip ties, put them around the sides, and then taped it with electrical tape all the way to the end. You can see the zip ties right there. That's where they come through. So it's still flexible, but it's stiff enough that when you push it, it'll go through. And then I sprayed this thing with some of this grease. You can use WD-40, you can use whatever you want, but basically you cut that little nub and then you just shove this thing through. It'll start poking on the other side. You can grab it. I had to cut a little hole on the inside, and then I just pulled this thing through and it all came through. I spent probably 2 hours trying to get the speaker wire for the subwoofer, or sorry, the power wire for the subwoofer through with the wrong tools. I did this in about 5 minutes. It was the best way to do it. So again, electrical tape, 3 zip ties. You could probably do it with 1. I did 3 just around different areas, and then spray it with the grease so it slides through, and it was just incredible how easy I got it. Now I know how professional installers can do this stuff with the right tools in like 10 minutes versus 2 hours. While the install is going on in the background, time-lapsed, I wanted to go over the wiring in the truck for the rear amplifier. So this is a pinout diagram of a different B&O with the same plug as ours. A lot of the wires are the same. Some of them are different. So first off, we don't have our center channel running off the rear amplifier. There is a different one up front that runs the 2 tweeters and A-pillars and the center channel. All of the door speaker wires are identical to this color chart. The subwoofer coil 1 is the same, coil 2 is actually different colors. Coil 2 is green and blue, and then the other wire is white, whereas this one has violet and orange, and the other wire is yellow. So that's a difference there. And then as you get a little bit further in, you will also see that the door speaker in the front right is yellow and orange, and then green and brown. But when you look at the actual chart, the front right door is white and violet and white and orange. So if you were to look at the wire coming out of the plug, it's not the same as the wire in the door, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. So there's a couple pictures in here of different wiring harnesses. One of them is going into the side door. It's the brown wires, and then in the door itself, they're completely different colors. So again, as they go through the seal in the door, they change colors, so you can't just look at the speaker and know what color to look for on the amplifier. All right, not the cleanest wiring job, but like everything I do, I work really hard at the beginning, and then when there's like 10% left to do, I just get tired of it. So I'll just tuck it in there. It's good enough for now. Get all this extra wire. Well, you gotta be. Oh my gosh, I am an absolute idiot. So I wired that to the piece I cut off, like a total turd. Let's do this all over again. Dang it. Good thing I brought 2 extras. I'm so stupid. I should edit that out, but you guys all need to see that I make awesomely stupid mistakes, and that's what makes this take so long. So if you don't make stupid mistakes, you would probably have this done in half the time that I get it done. Okay, now that I've done the correct wires, I will tuck them back down here. All right, so wires are there. Run along over to there. What is this? Oh, extra wire. Good. Had me scared now that I've messed up once. Never know. I'm going to put the seat back up because I am confident I did this correctly. But I'm going to do it from the other side so I can see if I'm squishing anything. Oh, there's tons of room in there. Yeah, that's definitely where I'm going to mount it. So install's complete. I mounted this with some 3M Velcro, the same stuff I use for the Easy Pass and the windshield. I know it can handle the heat. It's not going to be crappy adhesive or anything like that. I want to go over it very quickly again. This amplifier powers your rear doors coaxial, so it's a full range signal. It also powers the woofers in the front doors. Only the woofers, not the tweeters, but it does send the full range signal. So these wires going to my key amplifier are full range front and back, so it's able to do all of its processing. I also took the wires that were powering the old subwoofer and sent them in as the high-powered levels for this hideaway kicker sub because it has an amplifier built in. So I have the the low pass filter set on my subwoofer at 60 Hertz. I have the high pass filter on this amplifier set at 60 Hertz. So anything coming out of here below 60 is going to the subwoofer. Anything above 60 is going to the door speakers. That's my setup. I also want to show you where I have the gains set up, just to show you there's a lot of headroom in this amp for the volume I like to listen to it. So this is amp 1 and then amp 2 is right there, but that is set to 0. All the way up to here is 11. So that would be 5.5. I have it right about here at 4. So I'm only at like 35–40% of what this thing is capable of, but that's like a good comfortable area. It's not throwing out so much power, no clipping or anything like that. It did a really good job. I really like the way it sounds. I don't have any complaints right now, but I've only had it for a couple days, so we'll see as I go along. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed, and I will do a detailed video on the entire stereo system, doors, subwoofer, this amplifier, all in one, but I don't want to do that today because I've been editing videos and it's getting boring.
over!